Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Hey everybody, so I didn't have a intention to make another video on this guy for a while, but I had to because this was amazing. So this happened 4 or 5 days after I made my video. So to be fair, it's probably not me that he's making this in response to, although I did somehow the video went viral and I got like 50,000 views. So thank you for that. But yeah, so there's been a couple other people who have come out against him. There's that documentary, The Rise and Fall of Yandere Dev. I think on Kiwi Farms and Reddit and stuff, people have been going at him. His Patreon saw a massive wave of criticism. Basically, what this is because people are actually holding this guy to account, and they're saying, look, we've been giving you money for a long time to do Osana. Why have you made basically no progress with this game? So he made a video basically telling his fans that you're detractors, and he said,
Thank you. And fuck you.
basically, he's like, look, you guys are expecting me to deliver on the things that I promised, and I can't do it. I've told you guys this before. I have to finish everything else before I actually start on making the core game. It's too much. It's just too much to do. So all I have to say is play.
Oh, excellent. The latest build and video are finished uploading. Time to
finished
release them for the
uploading.
world to see. I hope that everybody likes the latest feature. I think I'll read the comments and see what people are saying.
See how he responds to criticism from his fan base.
Where's Osana? Why isn't Osana done yet? When will you work on Osana? Osana! Osana!
Oh, wow.
The thousand yard stare.
We need to have a talk.
Wow, that is like the creepiest thing ever. She's like, we need to have a talk. Hey guys, you know what you guys want me to deliver? I'm gonna deliver something right to your house. It is kind of what that it sounds like. It's kind of disturbing. But yeah, like this whole thing is just like
Thank you. And fuck you.
is like, look guys, you're asking me legitimate questions about the game development, so I'm gonna make this passive aggressive video and attack you, my fan base.
I've already said this in my previous videos, but I'll say it again. If I put Osana into the game right now, it would not be any fun to eliminate her. It would be exactly like killing Coconut or any other random student in the game.
Well, isn't that kind of so? Basically, what he's saying is he's admitting he's made no progress on Osana. This is an admission. He's like, all I've done is her model. I mean, like he literally just said, if I were to put the assets I have for Osana into this game, it would be identical to the sandbox mission mode, which means he has nothing done. It's a lie. He's not doing anything. So like what I think happened here is what his fans said was,
One day, somebody's gonna have to make a stand.
In order for me to craft a fun and challenging experience, I need many different types of obstacles that I can use to create interesting scenarios that require the player to be clever and use strategy in order to accomplish their objective.
and I haven't done this for the last 4 years. Don't worry, guys. Like I'm totally gonna do it. It's gonna happen.
I need things like the student council,
Why?
the bullies, the
Why?
delinquents, the photography club, etc. Without these students or the features associated with them, I can't arrange characters around the school in a way that creates challenging situations.
Well, why is none of this done? So basically, his excuse is I can't start working on the game because I haven't gotten far enough in the game development. So, all I have to say to that is...
You created the monster, you unleashed the monster, and now your complaint is, well, the monster's too powerful to control. Well, fuck you, that's your fault.
Exactly.
I'm not going to put Osana into the game until everything I need is in place. Here's a checklist of everything that I think the game requires until I...
Holy shit, how long did he spend, like, doing this? Befriend, betrayal, elimination. I don't think that's in the game. I don't think matchmaking, elimination. I don't think most of these things are actually in the game. When I tried it out, I don't remember most of these. I like how there's personas. So I guess like what's going to happen in the finished game is you're going to take a bottle of bleach and you chug the bottle of bleach and you yell persona as the bleach is going down. But then it turns out the bleach is actually water, but the stress of drinking the bleach fractures your persona and your persona comes out and it's going to be the spirit of some tentacle hentai, and that persona is gonna use Eggy, and blow up Osana, and that's how the game's gonna work. And I think it's gonna be great. We don't have a frame rate. We have a mysterious obstacle. We don't have we can't save. We don't have a tutorial. A tutorial I don't think is very important when you're developing a game. I don't think that really matters. I think it's
have what I need in order to make it fun to eliminate Osana. As you can see, most of this work is already
This
done.
is so passive
15
aggressive.
different elimination methods, 15 different personas, a multitude of different ways to interact with students, etc. But, of course, there is still some more work to be done. I wouldn't dream of putting Osana into the game until there are at least 90 students at school, students are reacting to blood,
Why can't
the
he
guidance
do that?
counselor has been implemented, the frame rate is more stable, the mysterious obstacle is functioning, etc.
Most of these
The build
things don't
that
seem
contains
particularly
Osana
time-consuming.
is going to be a big deal. It should be a completely accurate representation of the experience of playing the final game.
The final
That's
countdown.
why it's so important to get every other aspect of the game working before I implement Osana. It was a huge mistake for me to put so much emphasis on Osana in the past, because it created the false impression that Osana should be my one and only priority.
Like it gave people the impression that like trying to get somewhere with the game is my priority.
My goal is to give you an excellent experience, not
An excellent experience that takes...
to give you a target to kill as soon as possible. Osana will not be my top priority until I've finished working on every other feature that is required to present you with a build that represents my vision in a game. Imagine that Yandere Simulator is a game of chess.
It's just like Code Geass. It's exactly like there's Lelouch there.
Senpai is your king, Yandere-chan is
That's Kalen.
your queen, and Osana is the
That's
enemy
C2,
king.
I guess.
If I put her in the game right now, it would be the most boring game of chess ever.
Ever.
Just like chess, there are a lot of pieces that are required in order to make it a game that's worth playing.
Mm-hmm.
You might feel better if you think of it this way. Because all of these things are required for Osana to be in the game, the act of working on these things counts as progress towards Osana.
Yandere-dev! If it takes 5 years to finish one rival, and 9 will remain after her, does that mean it'll take 45 more years to finish the game?
Yes! This is exactly the point I made. So I like to think that he's responding. He's responding to what I said.
Absolutely not. After the first rival has been completed, implementing all subsequent rivals much faster. I'll explain why. Over the past 50 months, 5% of my time has been spent working on Osana, and 95% has been spent on implementing the game's core mechanics. Thus, the time spent
And not a lot of progress has been made on either of them.
on the game's development so far does not represent how long it takes to complete a single rival. Once I've finished working on every feature that the game needs, I will switch 100% of my focus to the rivals. And
No, you
that's when
won't.
you'll start seeing rivals being implemented in a matter of months or weeks,
Sure.
not years. After fully implementing a rival once, I'll have a template
Oh, he has all the rivals, like the idea of them? Maybe? I don't
that
know.
I can use for all future rivals. In other words, I can reuse a lot of the code that was used for Osana.
In other words, every single rival is going to be exactly the same. There's not going to be a story.
So all future rivals can be implemented faster and more efficiently.
They're just going to
than
be
Osana.
carbon copies of the
The
first one.
experience and knowledge that I gain by implementing Osana will also make all future rivals easier to work on. After Osana, I will launch a crowdfunding campaign. One of the purposes of the crowdfunding campaign is to raise enough money to hire at least one experienced, highly qualified professional programmer to work on the game full-time. This programmer could build tools that will make it easier and faster to implement rivals and events.
Why don't you just do that now? He has the money to do it.
Right now, I am juggling the responsibilities of being the game's director and producer in addition to being its only programmer.
And how exactly did this happen?
You created the monster, you unleashed the monster, and now your complaint is, well, the monster's too powerful to control. Well, fuck you, that's your fault.
Exactly.
In a best-case scenario, someone else would take my place as the game's programmer, so that I could work exclusively as the game's director and producer. If we raise enough money, maybe we could hire multiple programmers who would work on multiple rivals simultaneously, so that future rivals
Why don't you
are
just do that
completed
now?
even faster. I hope that this video helps you to understand why I'm not prioritizing
No, it didn't
Osana
explain
at
anything.
this point in time.
In other words, you haven't made any like substantial progress on the core game, so you're not gonna like start on the story anytime in the
For
foreseeable
following
future.
the development of Yandere Simulator.
So, okay, so after 50 months, so that happened, and he also disabled comments, probably because people were watching my video and they were coming over and they were asking him to, like, logical questions like, why aren't you getting anywhere? Where's the money going? Etc. So, let's see here. I've made the decision to close the comments section. This is due to 3 factors. Too many edgy teenage kids. So he's admitting his fan base is entirely teenagers, which is nothing wrong with that. A lot of my fan base is... Well, most of my fan base is in like their early to mid-20s. But I have a fair number of teenagers who like my kind of quality content. But I don't get it. So basically he's saying... my fan base is toxic, so I'm not going to allow my fan base to talk. The gang of psychopaths. So his fan base are edgy kids, and he's just telling them to go fuck themselves. So what I have to say to that is...
Why am I toxic?
Exactly. Constant spreading of misinformation or outright lies, aka... the truth. Moderating the comments is interpreted as silencing criticism, not made... Okay, so moderating the comments is interpreted as silencing... I don't silence criticism. But you just turned off all comments on your channel so nobody can comment. Well, that's not silencing criticism. People are accusing me of silencing criticism, and that's not accurate. So to get rid of the accusation I'm silencing criticism, I'm going to silence criticism. So that makes as much sense as...
We must, and we will much about that be committed.
Exactly. Not moderating the comments results in a cesspool. Who cares? It's a lose-lose situation every way. But if it's a cesspool, you get more views because it helps the algorithm. What's more to it than that. If you have a certain question, if I see a certain question persisting through the comments, where's Osana, I feel obligated to make a video answering the question. I mean, like I don't want to make a video. Like people are only giving me like what like $10,000 a month. I don't owe you answers to your questions. I don't owe you shit, you fucking detractors. This is what I think about you giving me money.
Thank you. And fuck you.
Exactly. That's exactly what this whole video is. I feel obligated to make a video correcting misinformation. If I see people overreacting to the comments, I feel obligated to make a video explaining why they shouldn't be overreacting. In short, if I allow comments, I'll get caught in a never-ending loop of constantly feeling obligated to making videos, address the comments I'm seeing, and getting 1 million views per video and probably making, I don't know, like a couple $100 for like an hour of work. That would suck time away from me streaming on Twitch. I mean, game development. I can't allow myself to go down that rabbit hole, so I have to cut off comments altogether for my own sake. It's like, it is, you know what, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is, there's nothing he can do about it. So, before we go, I think this summarizes how Yandere Dev feels about people who ask him, where's Osana?
If I had a chance of being filthy rich or going back in time to prevent